I got some ideas, I got some pals, let's get together and pitch some games. Perhaps out of all of Nintendo's properties, Mario is the one that needs a reboot, and also not a reboot at the same time. So in terms of experimentation, the Mario RPG series has always been like super fun and quirky, and they always go to like new lands and stuff, and there's always new enemies. I mean, the combat has stayed virtually the same, but it's still, you know, fun. But I mean, okay, picture this shape. Every single Mario game from the initial creation has always changed. We got Mario to Mario 2. Granted, we all know that Mario 2 was not a Mario game to start off with, but still, it's now canon.
Right.
And then Mario 3, and then Mario World. I guess you could say Yoshi's Island as well. And then you go to the Nintendo 64, then Mario Sunshine, and then Galaxy. Galaxy was the last big, to me, it was the last big Mario game that changed the series and had an aesthetic look that was all its own. Now, since Galaxy, once they went back to 2D, they have kept that same style for every single game, essentially,
right.
From the main games. The first game was New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, and that was cool. It was a harken back to the original game, it was side-scroller. It was pretty unique. That came out, obviously, I think either, it was before the Galaxy, of course. But I mean, that was fine. You know, that came out, Galaxy, whatever.
Introduction of this, like, super mushroom, right?
Yeah. And then you get to Galaxy, and then after Galaxy, it was New Super Mario Bros. Wii. And that continued from the DS game. It's like, oh, hey, cool, it's a console version of this game. That's pretty cool, and it was fun multiplayer because you could all, you know, play the games at once, which was huge. I love that game so much. And it was like, okay, cool, wonder what the next game was going to be. Then they made Galaxy 2, and, you know, that was fun as well. But again, you know, just like Galaxy, this one was like a huge leap, but more like a, yeah, okay, it's nice to see more of this. And then past that, it has now been, for the 3DS, Super Mario 3D Land, which was basically the look of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but kind of smashed with the Galaxy games in terms of like gameplay. Then after that, we had the new Super Mario Bros. Wii U, or whatever it's called, and that was basically the same exact game as new Super Mario Brothers. I mean, if you really put all three of these games together for the new Super Mario Brothers series, they all, you can't really tell the difference. I mean, graphically maybe a little bit, but if you're like, hey, what's this level from? You could be like, that one's from the DS one. It's like, nope, it's from the Wii one. It's just, I mean, they all look the same. It's not like it's not the way they play, it's how they look. They look like exactly the same. And then this new one came out, Super Mario 3D World, which basically is like a multiplayer version of the 3DS game. And don't get me wrong, okay, so these games are always fun, but they come at a cost of fun without really trying. You know, it's like, yeah, that was fine, but it's not as like groundbreaking as like Mario used to be between each and every sequel, you know? It suffered from, which I think we've talked about this in previous episodes during one of the Nintendo conversations, where Mario has been annualized, and it's pretty much comes out every single year just because it sells well. And I mean, that's what Assassin's Creed and Call of Duty does, you know? They're always good games, but they're not as groundbreaking as like the first or second game like in the series, you know? They don't move anything forward. So what this discussion is going to bring up is basically what we want from the actual real new console version of Mario. Like, the next big leap. Like, what is he going to do? And it's not the gameplay, because again, the gameplay is fine. It's the look. I mean, would you agree with me if you look at screenshots from all these games, every single game past Galaxy basically looks the same? Am I wrong about that?
Visually, they all look identical.
And they really like cartoonified Mario like past a certain point. I mean, I guess he's always been like their Mickey Mouse, but you know, looking back at the cartoons when he used to have that gravelly voice, and like even the movie, which we shouldn't really get into the movie here because people either side with us or like really hate us, since a lot of people think that movie's garbage. Right. But even the cartoons, I mean, he was like a gruff, you know, he's an Italian plumber. He's like, hey, let's do this. But in the games, it's like, oh, that's a good. He's a cartoon character, and I remember loving Mario when I was a kid. But now I like Luigi because Mario is essentially a blank slate. He has no real personality, but Luigi does. He's like the slumpy brother. He's kind of, you know, tries really hard. He's a goofy character, and it's kind of sad to see him get thrown under the bus and be like this weird bumbling character. But at the same time, it's also funny and like charming. But there's nothing charming about Mario. There's like, he has no personality.
Luigi's endearing because no matter like how much he tries, he still falls far behind the shadow of his much shorter brother.
Yeah, and it was even more so in like Super Mario RPG, was just a fantastic game, but him not saying anything was just weird and just a blank slate. And also, Waluigi is basically the Mario of the Bizarre universe, because Wario was an awesome character and he definitely has a personality, but Waluigi is basically Wario, and he's just the same exact thing, and there's nothing unique about him. He's basically Wario, but Luigi. So Wario and Luigi should be in a game together. And they should, I guess, maybe Waluigi kidnap Mario, and I don't know, maybe Luigi's offering Wario some kind of gold coin because that's what he cares about, the money. Which is also funny. I mean, and then Wario has this weird, crazy games. It's the, you know, the DIY games and just the Wario Inc. stuff. It's all pretty crazy and weird. Plus, it's, you know, the Wario Land and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. In terms of those characters, I think Wario and Luigi are like the best for the Mario universe.
There's even that gaming term, the Mario. It's a character that does is really good at almost everything, but doesn't excel at any one thing. He's good across the board.
You could also, you know what you could also equate this to? Superman. That's why I don't like Superman. He's too good. You know, I know there's good stories written about him, and I know people tell me to try and get into him and stuff like that. Like, I know that the Red Sun is supposed to be good, but he's still such a just, you know, he's boring. He's Superman. He's like the everything. Yeah, and it's like he's always going to come back. I mean, you can say that for any kind of superhero. It's like, oh, they're always going to come back, or if they die, they're going to be some kind of cross-universe and whatever. But, yeah, Mario's just, you know, good at everything. It's just, so it's just boring. But let's, in types of character, let's not get into that. But let's get into what we want for a Mario game. Now, my prediction for last year, before they announced 3D World, it was either last year or my 2012 predictions for Mario, was that it was going to be called Super Mario Universe, because they love using their names in the title. So Super Mario the Wii U using that name, and Universe. And that would just make so much sense. And Universe, people would think like, oh, Galaxy Universe, you know, I get it. But I think it would be cool if Mario, every single world was themed from a past game. So he'd have to go basically back I don't know, either in time or maybe he's going through like wormholes or black holes to go back to certain eras of his history. So, you know, he does like a world themed like the original Mario and something themed like Mario 2. And it can either be themed so it looks like that world, or it could be literally like a new version of that game where, you know, it's, you know, 8-bit style and then, you know, 16-bit style and, you know, so forth. But I just think that would just work so well, you know? That would make it go past the whole visual thing and make it more unique. And it's not like Mario doesn't have experimentation, because I said before, the Mario RPG series is where they really kind of spin out and do some weird things, and the Paper Mario series as well. They kind of branch out from that. But, I mean, still, I think it's a valid point for me to just have an argument about why Mario feels so stale in terms of, like, the big console games.
It just doesn't... I think you mentioned it before, it just feels like they know what sells and what works for them, so they don't feel like they need to. And maybe it all harkens back to that movie and how polarizing it was and how scared it made Nintendo.
Yeah, and you know, Mario Sunshine didn't do that well either. Like, it's also very polarized in the press. Some people like it and some people don't. And, yeah, I mean, I haven't played that much of it, but I'm fine with him having, like, the water pack. That was a cool idea. I remember playing that demo a lot in, like, Target stores where they used to have the demo kiosk. I was like, wow, this is really cool. He has, like, a water backpack. Yeah. I mean, that was a unique spin. Why don't they do that again? They give Mario some kind of give him a new mechanic and a new world to go to. Because, like I said, okay, so the gameplay, fine or whatever, it looks the same, that's one thing. If it looked the same, and he went to, like, a new world that is not the goddamn Mushroom Kingdom, that would be fine. If it looks exactly the same, but in a different world, that would be cool too. And, I mean, can you really not think of anything besides a grass world and a fire world and an ice world? Jesus Christ, come on, think of something.
Like, instead of Bowser kidnapping Peach, maybe she gets kidnapped by something different. Or maybe, for once, Peach is player 2. Instead of being the point of the game.
Or player
maybe
1.
I want to see another Peach game. I want to see her come into her own.
We'll get into that. Okay. But yeah, so I had my universe idea.
Oh.
Let's get into some of these pictures, and then I actually have some points about Peach. So let's not beat around the bush, and let's just go down through these pictures and briefly discuss or do a lengthy discussion on each. So the first one, it's a joke. It was basically I can't remember what the article was. It was on 1UP. They did some art and they gave Mario some guns, and yeah, I don't think Mario should ever be given guns except like a water gun or something like that. Just because they did that with Sonic and they gave Shadow guns, and that was just retarded. I mean, really. I can see them in a boardroom meeting and be like, you know what the kids love these days? That Call of Duty. What if we gave Mario a gun? No, that you don't want to do that. That would just be silly. I don't think this even deserves a conversation. Yeah, maybe it would sell.
He's established as a family-friendly character, and excuse me. While I am fully behind exploring a more gritty take on storytelling, that you can do grittier storytelling while still keeping it fairly clean. Mario RPG is a perfect example of a story that goes a little darker but still works perfectly.
And he uses jumps, and everybody else, they might have some kind of weird weapon, but it's all harmless, you know. The next picture is actually kind of like a little bonus picture. It's basically Westeros, but in Super Mario Land form.
Oh, I didn't get that at first. I like that.
Yeah, that's someone redid the map from Game of Thrones, and they basically did in the Mario world, 8-bit style. It's pretty cool. I'd like to see that. Stannis, and that'd be a long game too. So many people to kill. Oh man.
This is when you meet Mario's entire family. You find out that Mario and Luigi are just the black sheep of their family.
Oh man, yo, what if they had Koopalings like Mario Lings, where there's so many brothers? Yeah, that was a little fun little side. But getting on to the next one, this one I think would be a cool blend of a Tearaway. Tearaway was a game by Media Molecule, who did the Little Big Planet series for the Vita. Tearaway is for the Vita, and it was everything, literally every single thing is made out of paper in that game. And while Paper Mario does have that aesthetic appeal, where everything does look like it's made of paper, this picture really frames like it's really made out of both paper and like clay. And I think this would be like a cool game to explore. Not necessarily has to be like a remake of Super Mario World, but like this could be a cool visual appeal.
Yeah.
There could be like even just could be the new Paper Mario game.
I could definitely get just behind a Mario game that has this look to it. Like, I think visually they should try something different. And if he had like a clay, like almost a clay look, you remember Clay Fighters for the N64? Takora had it. You could rent it.
Yeah.
But if they did a Mario game with that kind of look, I would be behind it 120%. I feel that this would be friggin' amazing to see.
That would obviously take some time, but please take some time. Don't release a game every single year, for crying out loud. And if you want to, I mean, again, they could give this. I don't think they would ever give Mario to another company. I mean, technically they have, because Alpha Dream makes the Mario RPG series. So technically that is giving their thing to somebody else. But it's somebody that I think they have a part of ownership in that company, or it's like a spin-off team, just like Intelligent Systems with the Fire Emblem games, where it's like, yeah, we're a developer for just Nintendo basically, but we're also not just Nintendo. Division 1 of their R&D department and stuff like that. But I don't think they would ever give it to anybody else, really, like an EA or Activision, or I really, because that would just be taken to like a big leap of faith. And I don't think they want to see another Mario movie in terms of like where someone would go. But if they gave it to like a platform studio, like, gosh, I mean, like Naughty Dog, they made the Crash Bandicoot games. Or like again, like Media Molecule, they made Little Big Planet. Like, give it to like a platform people.
Give Rare another chance to.
Yeah, what if Rare made a Mario game? That'd be sweet. And I mean, technically, they made the Donkey Kong Country series, but I'd love to see them do a Mario game. Yeah. They'd have to give it from Microsoft, but the next one is also kind of a joke that I threw in there. You know, someone reimagining the Mario Brothers as like some Playboy anime characters. I don't think this would work in a game or even like an anime. Just because Pretty Mario would just be weird, because they'd be super getting past the point of them being Italian plumbers. And I don't think this would really work or go over well, because anime is another thing that's very polarizing. I mean, say what you will about like Paper Mario and stuff, but at least that's like cartoony, where like his anime is like a very specific appeal to a very specific crowd of people. But the next one, I think, is like the best representation that I've seen in fan art for a gritty reboot, but also keeping it fantastical. It's not like super crazy, but everything is drawn
very well,
more fiendish, but that also still has that like cartoony appeal. Like Bowser really looks like a crazy character. Yoshi looks more like a dinosaur. I feel like this fan art was drawn blending both Mario and the Mario movie universe kind of together.
Like, look at that that Goomba with its rows upon rows of teeth, and Billy Bullet with
Yeah, and it's the Koopa Troop
Yeah.
over there. You know, they could obviously tone that down a little bit, but I think it'd be cool to see Mario in a more realistic fashion. I mean, Mario's supposed to be fat, but I think you could do the same comparison as I showed you between Sonic getting taller as Mario, like, getting thinner. Like, he... I mean, I guess he really never has been, like... Actually, no, I take that back. I think Mario is getting a little bit taller, actually. I think Mario was, like, kind of short and kind of plump. And Luigi as well. Luigi was kind of like back and forth between looking exactly like Mario, like in Super Mario 3, between like him being tall and Mario 2. And then in Mario World, I think he was basically a swap palette of Mario. I can't remember if he was taller
I think
or not
in like his first couple appearances, he was pretty much just a palette swap. And well, minus Mario 2, because there they made a point of making him look different.
Yeah, but I mean, this could definitely work. This could definitely be very harmful at the same time, because you would be going away from the children, because Mario is the everything series. It is Nintendo's mascot. You don't want to
harm the
damage that big brand, which is why they probably experiment more with some of the other stuff. But they could just call this a new series, you know? They could Super Real Mario Brothers, I don't know. And this one I feel like they could give to somebody else.
Yeah, with this look.
I just don't know if they ever would. I mean, it would be sweet to see something like this. And again, it's not like, I don't want blood, I don't want them to be like a dark story, to be like...
Mario takes that hammer and bludgeoning Koopas left and right.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and Koopa raped Peach, and like, you gotta abort the baby with the black cloud of your hammer. Yeah, not like that. I don't want to see blood, and I don't want that stuff. But I do want to see like a more realistic world. Yeah, I don't know. Apocalypse, Mushroom Kingdom, which is what the movie tried to do. I don't know.
It's the return of Smithy. Smithy makes everything demonic.
Oh my gosh, yeah, maybe this could be like a real sequel to Super Mario RPG 2. And yeah, just crazy. What if they made like a Fallout Mario game?
This is the Fallout Mario.
Take the hammer, you bash some people in. This would be... I know there's some people with us that would like to see this, and also probably some people that are like, yeah, even more gore though.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. This game, I think, is one of my favorite pieces of fan art, and just some other ones that are very close to it, where this could also be part of like that Mario Universe game that I had, where Universe is actually like Nintendo. Maybe it could be like Nintendo Universe, where Mario is Nintendo's mascot, and you know, maybe everyone's like getting together at like Olympic Games or some kind of Mario Party, and it's like, or you know, Smash Brothers. They're all getting together and having fun. You know, Samus is there and Link is there. They're all having like a big old ball. But then some entity that is not no one from this universe, no one, not Waluigi, not Bowser, no one is the culprit behind this. It's some otherworldly dimension that comes in and takes away everybody, and somehow Mario escapes. And he has to, you know, obviously get everybody back. Every world could be themed specifically for that character. And then Mario along the way could get new abilities. So it would be kind of like a Zelda or like a Metroid, where you're getting new powers to, you know, get to new places and stuff like that. And I think that would be such a cool idea to give him, like, you know, like Sword and Shield, or Samus's, you know, cannon, or even, you know, to make Mario less, giving him like less of a power that would make more brutal. Like giving him Link's sword, I think would like diminish Mario, because that is more violent in terms of him. The cannon blaster, not so much, since he does like fucking throw fire bombs all the time. But maybe he could just have Link's shield, or like even like the boomerang or something like that. Samus cannon would work, or even like the ball form. That would be kind of cute for Mario too. And then what other powers could he have from some of the other things, like Donkey Kong?
He could
a banana gun.
He could do that Kong quake or whatever, where he like slams his hands on the ground and makes things shake.
He just has to elongate his arms, or like he turns into like a hairier version. He throws off all of his clothes
He turns
and just
into a werewolf, like Sonic.
a werewolf.
A were-monkey? That sounds weird.
A Wario, if you will.
Oh.
But other properties he could going back through the whole list here. Animal Crossing,
No.
nothing for that.
Kirby.
Kirby, yeah, he could
Kind of
suck in
already
powers.
does that, though.
Yeah, which is what we talked about for the Kirby thing, where he goes into people's dreams and gets their power. So this is basically a rehash of that. Basically, Nintendo, we just want you to do a universe game, be it a new character or one character where they go into different universes for that one specific character. Just make it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, just do it. Let's move on though to Peach, who you love, and basically this is it's a cute little drawing. It's a fan art piece where someone reimagined like Cookie Mama and done Peach done in that kind of style.
House making skills.
I
mean, she's a
know.
princess,
but the way that they frame Peach in like the games, I feel like she has every girl power ever. She probably likes shopping, and she probably likes to cry, and she likes to cook. Yeah, and I say cry because they already made a game with her crying, so don't call me sexist because Nintendo already made her into a sexist character.
Sadly, yes, and I mean, you could argue that they need to make Peach more of a girl role model, but if you go too far anyway, she's already another Nintendo girl.
Yeah. But I mean, Peach could be used in like a spin-off series of like Cookie Mama or any kind of spin-off series. They should just have Peach be out there more, just to appeal. It's like, okay, yeah, she's still a girl, but she's also not always being captured. At least she's a star of like
I have a theory that Peach is actually related to that lady from Mario Galaxy. I know that,
Rosalind?
I know that they've established that she's not related to them at all this and that, but I feel like maybe she's Peach from a different universe, one where she actually got to not be captured all the time and evolved into this new character, kind of like, you know, Zelda when she was taken in by the became sheep.
Well, like when she becomes like sheep.
Gerudo.
Yeah. And so they totally made Zelda into like a badass. At least back then, but now she's kind of princess again. But let's move past it to the next one is what I want to talk about, because this is a Peach that I can really get behind, that actually gives her a new look, and it's a really good art style. And they may have like punked her up like a little bit
with the cats.
Like, unique design. Yeah, and maybe they don't have to exactly do that much, but Peach needs a game where she like cuts off the dress and goes on her own adventure. So the only real game they ever had her star in was Super Princess Peach for the DS. And it was a fun little platformer, but it was way too easy. And they gave her powers, like these emotions. I mean, she was on this island that gave everybody emotions. So like there were Goombas crying or super angry and stuff like that. So everyone they had the power of emotions in them. But still, framing her powers around being her super angry, giving her fire powers, or being able to grow plants by having her cry, and also making her run faster, is also kind of sexist the same way as well. It's like, oh, we gave her crying powers, but it's not sexist because we gave everybody some Goombas are crying as well. It's like, no, that doesn't. If you make one person blackface and you make everybody blackface, doesn't mean that it's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought it was really controversial to give Peach blackface powers in Super Princess Peach. That was really weird. I'm kidding, it was not in there. Wouldn't that be crazy if Nintendo did like a blackface? They would never do that. Actually, no, you know what? Because Japan still makes black characters really weird.
Well, then she wouldn't be blackface Peach, she'd be Black Peach.
Yeah, Yeah, what if they made a
Peach,
Black Peach from another
she
kingdom?
discovers that she has a Waluigi.
Oh, but they make her black. No, that would be bad because they'd be like, oh, so the black character's bad.
Alright. Backtracking, that is a bad idea.
Jeez Louise, I know you're so racist. But yeah, I definitely think that Peach, just like Luigi had his time in the sun, last year is the year of Luigi, I think that Peach really needs a good game because I think it had a good idea for that Super Princess Peach. But again, it was too easy. And she was still in a dress. Does she have to be in a dress? She's going on an adventure for crying out loud, you know. Give her some cool gear. She's capable. Or maybe she's not capable. I mean, she's just princess archetype. I mean, she's just there to be kidnapped. But then in some games, she's powerful enough to not be kidnapped. What? I don't know the continuity of this, you know? And in some cases, she's like, you know, that one time she was by herself. It's like, yeah. I don't know. And why is Bowser always kidnapping her? And what's he doing with her? And I don't know. Is he just secretly gay for Mario and just wants to see him, and that's why? I mean, he's a cartoon character. This is the whole point of everything. But still, it's like you gotta we want a Peach game. That's all we want. Not even having to discuss.
Maybe Mario Universe is actually about Peach saving the Mario universe. This is what all the Mario games for the past 20-some years have been leading up to. Peach's ultimate fight against Bowser. She has to save the entire Mario universe from not only Bowser, but from something even more dangerous than the giant turtle dinosaur.
Right. That the Super Mario sisters would be a cool twist on things. And they're obviously going to go save Prince Peach. Well, what's a manly
Prince
form?
Orange?
Yeah, Prince Orange. That works. Or Prince Apple. I like Prince Orange though. Or Prince Plum. No, Plum
sounds like a Koopa.
I don't know. But this would be a good way to keep Princess Peach a bitch, to keep her in the whole archetypal role of the princess or whatever, but still giving the role to girls. And this could be like a bizarre twist, and you know, maybe turns out it's all a dream, just like Mario 2 was all a dream. It's like, oh, Luigi, I had the strangest dream where we were girls and there was the prince and the stuff. And yeah, I don't know, it could be really cool. Just like that one episode, or they might have done multiple episodes so far, where it's like the universe in like Adventure Time, where everything was like reversed. And it's a very cool concept that I think would work very well. You don't have to put this on the consoles. You can do this on the 3DS, just like you did where Super Princess Peach, you would get your own game. Give the Super Mario sisters, or whatever you want to call them, just two fighting sisters, their own game and reverse roles, and I think it would really ignite a good discussion. And then because Nintendo has they don't have very good role models for women. I mean, you can say that about the universe of games in general, but there's not many good role models for girls. But Nintendo has to get on the case. I mean, they were very early actually in their concepts, because they gave one of their big franchises, Metroid, to be a girl, and that was like a big reveal at the end, and that's cool. And she is a very strong character, except for that last game that came out, which they also bitchified her as well.
Yeah, they kind of nerfed her.
But that was because it was made by Tecmo Koei, and again, that's what happens when you give somebody else. They might screw it up and make her into a puss and give her super feelings like, there's a baby. She says baby a lot in that game, and she holds her stomach.
Oh, so Samus is prego.
No, she's talking about the Metroid baby from like Super Metroid.
Oh.
You know, she gets saved by it or something. I don't know. She says baby a lot, like the baby. Look up Metroid Other M, the baby on YouTube. I'm sure there's like a clip together of her saying the baby like for 5 minutes at least. Baby, oh. Yeah, to that song.
Oh god.
I guess Tecmo Koei's probably listened to that again. They're like, they accidentally wrote the baby in there in the dialogue on accident. Yeah. Moving on though, I think this next one would be plagiarism.
Right.
But they could. I mean, they just did a reboot, or not a reboot. They just did a sequel finally to Luigi's Mansion, which is actually really good. Like, I didn't really care for the original one, but the 3DS version was really, really good. Another underrated 3DS game for a spin-off Nintendo title that maybe people didn't pick up because they didn't like the first game or whatever. And it's Luigi, it's Luigi, whatever. He sucks. But yeah, Dark Moon is really cool. And what if they made a team and they went to go find ghosts? I mean, there's plenty of ghosts in the Mario universe. Of course, again, plagiarism. I mean, Luigi's Mansion is basically whatever.
Ghostbusters, did you hear?
Let's not talk about. Let's not bring that down. Who knows when this thing is going up in the first place? But yes, it is very sad that Harold Ramis has died today or a year ago or whatever this is going up. Yes. Sorry, I don't want to.
I don't want to date this thing.
Go past. I don't want to, trivialize. Yeah, his death. But that's probably. There's more art we got here, but we'll end it on that. We'll end it on a very somber note. Thank you for ending that on a somber note. Boom, ba-jack, boom, boom, ba-jack, boom, ba-jack, boom.